Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. We're going to check out the statutes in Hawaii for another example of looking up statutes and how they apply and how hopefully, I'm turning this sideways for YouTube. Hopefully you guys can tilt your camera okay on Instagram and TikTok. But I want to talk about Hawaii. I just had an appointment with somebody and we went through it and they got some cool things on their pages and website and stuff like that. So let's check out Hawaii's statute. So as with any other state, we're going to Google Hawaii factors, best interest, custody, use those terms, and then we get HawaiiWomen'sLaw.org. Women's Law got all kinds of stuff. You got all kinds of support for women nationwide for all these groups because of Joe Biden's Violence Against Women Act. Here's the best interest of the child. That's case text. I don't want to go there. I want to go to Hawaii's own website. There's a link here somewhere. That's not it. Okay, hawaii.gov. Actually, what I'm going to do, I know it had the statute number here. Okay, there's the statute right there. Let's see if this is it. Yes, this is it. Okay, great. So, on case text, I don't know if Hawaii's legislature has this, but so this is how you look for statutes. Hawaii Revised Statute 571-46. So here they go, and there's two parts to it. There's subsection A, and there's a bunch of sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to like 17, I think it is. Yeah, 17. And then there's subsection B, and under B, there's a bunch of number of factors. So this talks about what the court can do. The court can hear the testimony of any person or expert. Custody may be awarded to persons other than the father or mother. So I guess they have a non-parent custody thing or option. So the court can make an order for custody of the minor child that they may deem proper. Okay, now. So Section A is about all the stuff they can do. In a visitation order, a court may order exchange of a child in a protected setting, all kind of standard stuff. So, but here's where we get into the factors. Whoops. Okay, so B. In determining what constitutes the best interest of the child under this section, the court shall consider, must, has to. A lot of you guys go in there and say, oh, I don't want to talk. Or your attorney says, don't tell the judge what the law says. The judge has to follow the law. So you have a right to tell them what they have to do. That's the whole point of an attorney, is to brief somebody on the law. In determining what constitutes the best interest of the child, the court shall consider. But it's not limited to the following. So you can add things like all the science and stuff like that that's in my flow page. There's my flow page. And in my flow page, there's a section that says must see info, including. Click on this, it leads you to a scholarly paper about how kids' brains don't develop properly when they don't have proper bonds with both parents. Here's a bunch of statistics that is really cool from the National Fatherhood Initiative, even though they're not doing jack shit about anything for fathers in regular life in court. They still got a bunch of great statistics. You could download this stuff. And then the following, you could download in a zip file. And these are cool because there's statistics about infants whose dads play with them have good mental and social outcomes according to this source. Look at that. They even give you a source right there of some scholarly paper or study or from the government or whatever. And I like to download all these and put these into pictures and exhibits. And that's part of my packet that I have in my store. So let's take a look. Let's pause for a second. My packet for a declaration of father and support emotional temporary parenting plan or responding to somebody. You can change the wording on it. I have all this stuff in here and arguments. See how I put this stuff in, let's see. See how I break it down in categories? So I have one section which says, identity and relief requested. What I'm asking for. My facts and argument. The court can modify temporary orders at any time. That's a legal principle up here. The court's allegiance to the child. And then I go down, and then I have another section. The mother thinks that daycare, non-parents are more important than the father. These are examples of arguments that, have been made in, other case stuff. So here's the declaration. And then check out how cool this is. I show you here, Exhibit 1. I got exhibits. That's the one with the brain. Study or information talking about how children suffer and get disorders. Their cognitive functioning, all this stuff doesn't develop properly without proper bonds with both parents. Exhibit 2. See how I put those pictures together? You can find them online. I put them together. I just downloaded them. And Exhibit 2 has numbers. So you say, hey, Your Honor, look at Exhibit 2, page 3. Look at that statistic about, we're in Mississippi, and Mississippi, blah, 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 blah. There's a bunch of these here. Oh, look at page 5, the picture in the upper left. Children raised by a father absent home more likely to experience behavioral problems, according to this study. Bam. And I think these are cool because they show pictures with a statistic. You see a dad with a kid there, a dad with a baby, and it psychologically drives it home for the judges. It's a little optic thing for them to see something with statistics. And then here's the third exhibit, this social science paper by, clinical psychologist Richard Warshak, and it's 30, let's see, and I give you a bunch of other exhibit slip sheets if you're going to add a bunch of other exhibits, so I help people out with that. This is a study that's about 30 pages long, and it's all set up in now you can download this stuff and assemble it together by watching this, so I'm giving you a freebie here. Or you can get my motion for temporary order packet or parenting plan packet, and it's kind of put together for you to write and tell your story. So this is about 30 pages. And then look at the end of this. You got references. That's his references or his bibliography about this paper that he wrote. So this guy studied 50-50 parenting plans and said they're better than every other weekend. And then, after his references, he says appendix of endorsements. See this? Endorsements. There's like 110 psychologists who endorse this. So you walk into court, if this is an exhibit, with 111 psychologists saying that children need 50-50 parenting plans. Ain't that amazing? How come 99% of you don't ever check out this free stuff that you could download and use and help? Oh, because my attorney said I can't do that, and I want to obey my attorney, and I love my attorney. He's my master. Anyway, in determining what constitutes the best in the child, any history of abuse, the overall quality of the parent-child relationship, your pictures will show that. I got a video on how to put pictures together. Physical health of the child, emotional needs of the child. Of course, the child, emotional need is a father. Child's need for a relationship with siblings, if you have some. Each parent's actions demonstrating that they allow the child to maintain family connections, etc. So, a lot of mothers flunked out. But this is what's awesome about this. After this, some states like Wisconsin and other states have this for you. Look at this. Below the laws, here's some case law in italics. Welfare of the child guide, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to... Okay, let's look at this. Best interest of the child is the guide in awarding custody. Neither parent has any preferred status. So if you go to Hawaii and they say, oh, your child is only 6 months old, they should be with the mother, that violates this case. And I have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about how to look up case law. I think I've got a couple of them. 56 Hawaii 51. That's the Hawaiian Supreme Court. If you have a Court of Appeals case, they'll say H-app. Okay, this is in Hawaii Appellate Court Reporters in Book Volume 2 under the H-app. Turn to page 24. This thing, an award of custody unless there's been a manifest abuse of discretion, decision will not be set aside. That's a different issue. But you have a bunch of case law in here, and they're doing the legal research for you. So why have you not looked up the statutes? I tell you guys to look up the statutes. Nobody wants to listen to me except for a very few. So there's a quick example of looking up statutes, and I just gave you a freebie about how to download and look at and apply and make exhibits out of some of my must-see information. You need to go to my flow page and look at my must-see information there. But some states like Hawaii, I know off the top of my head, Wisconsin has a bunch of case law under there. Look up the law. If you don't, in a court of law, what are you doing in a court of law if you're not going to look up the law and brief the court on it and argue it and put it in your pleadings? Look up the law.